Hello, my name's Kim and I'm directing Box Clever's production of Romeo and Juliet.
Hello, I'm Riyadh and I'm playing the narrator in Box Clever's version of Romeo and Juliet.
Hi, I'm Rianne and I'll be playing Juliet.
Hi, I'm Iskander and I'll be playing Romeo.
Welcome to Alford House, ready to start our first day of rehearsals for Romeo and Juliet. Could you describe a bit of what it feels like to come into rehearsals for the first day, and what kind of emotions and feelings are going on for you? What are you excited about? What are you nervous about? How does it feel to be an actor on the first day of rehearsals?
So the first day of rehearsals, there is the idea of reading a room just to see where kind of suss what everyone else is feeling.
Yeah, every rehearsal room is always going to be different. Finding your feet and trying to, be yourself and just get excited about the work.
And you're so right, because it is, every production is specific to the time and the plays and the people and the play. And what's one of the things I love so much about doing Shakespeare is that these plays have been done time and time again, and yet no one production will ever be the same as another one. And I love discovering together with people what this particular production needs and what the play is asking of us and you and this time. And I guess I wonder whether we could maybe talk a little bit about how it feels to be coming in and playing Romeo and Juliet at this particular moment.
Yeah, it just feels very relevant, I think. I feel like there's a really strong connection with a lot of stuff that happens to Romeo and Juliet, with a lot of stuff that's happening with not just young people, but a lot of people right now, or just not being able to be with the people that you love and the people you want to be with. And although it's a different kind of restriction that they're feeling, it's still really restrictive.
How about Romeo? Where might you be taking your inspiration from right now as an actor?
Well, I think there's always it's always a tricky line that you have to tread between how much you use your own experiences and stuff. But I think for me, there are people in my life that I really do love and care about that I haven't seen going on the lines of the COVID thing. People I haven't seen, grandparents I haven't seen for over a year now, and people and I've spent months apart from my girlfriend over the past over the past few months, and it's been hard, and you kind of do have to. And so that's, especially at the start of playing Romeo, very lost is the word I would use to describe him at the start, and there's definitely elements of that I can use and tap into. As
actors, as creatives, as theatre makers, what's your favourite thing about rehearsing? What's the thing you love the most about being in a rehearsal room?
I think there's kind of an energy in the room that is tricky to put into words. This ability to experiment and just throw an idea into the mix with everything you've got and see how it's received, and sometimes it's received really badly, and you just kind of the space is so kind of accepting that that's okay, you can let that go, that was a rubbish idea. But then most of the time, if it is a good idea, then the director, I don't know how you work, but hopefully the director will be like, oh yeah, it's a great idea, let's keep it in, well done. And that kind of experimenting is what I find really makes a good rehearsal room.
Yeah, I love how the text and the play bounces off of whoever's in the room, and how that can just make you say the lines and feel them in it's such a fresh way when you're just I find that it's the most on the front foot that you ever are with the actual play, and that's just so fun. It's just the most exciting thing to feel.
It's definitely the problem-solving element for me. Just always figuring it out you know, especially if, you know, if Rianne had an idea, it's like, oh, how can we make that come to life? You know, people that are coming together to create something, but trying to figure out how can we do it, and then it works. It's like, yeah, oh.
I think you're absolutely right about that discovery of something for the first time, looking for it, and then when you see it, when it happens, you see it and you feel it and you hear it, and there's like a truth and a resonance that just suddenly hits you like a ton of bricks, and you go, that's it. And it's so hard to name what it is when it works.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pin down what it is, and yet I feel like when the company are all working together, we all know and we all feel it at the same time. And it is that challenge of then how do you recreate that in the performance, because you can't beat discovering something for the first time. Just on discovering things for the first time. I wonder whether we could just finish with a question about firsts, and whether you believe in love at first sight. Romeo and Juliet meet and they see each other and they fall in love. Do you think it exists?
I think that a connection that perhaps isn't quite as extreme as what they go on to do. You know, they meet and then they have this crazy conversation where they're like, you know, talking in like impeccable synchronization with each other. You know, that's extreme. But I believe in a connection that you can just meet someone and you just be like I just feel something immediately, and you might not know that that's what it is, and it might take a while to grow into what that is, but I do believe in that connection.
Yeah, I believe in a wow at first sight. From my own experience, it was a wow, and then it became what I would say what love is. So maybe it's the same. There was a wow there, and then maybe.
I agree. I think it's the same. It happens at different rates for different people, but there's always that moment where, like, the first moment of, oh, I love this person. It could be 3 months after you've started seeing them or you've met them, or it could be, in Romeo and Juliet's case, 3 seconds after.
There's such courage, isn't there, in saying it when it happens. And love is such a scary thing. And I feel like as human beings, we're constantly trying to understand it and articulate it, because it's this feeling that makes you question everything. And it's so impulsive and primal, and especially if you're not that kind of person, then that could be a very difficult experience to go through. The language that you find together, and you know, I agree. I think it's so clearly there with Romeo and Juliet, and some people call it, rather than love at first sight, love at first sonnet.